Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Camaro, and I am back with a couple of Christmas DIYs to share with you guys. Hopefully you all saw my Christmas mega video that I posted about a week ago where I shared 25 Christmas DIYs with you. They are absolutely stunning, amazing, all the good things, so hopefully you'll check it out. For this video, I only have 6 to share with you guys, but they are still super cute and super adorable, so let's not waste any time and jump right into it. For this first project, I'm using this frame from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start by removing the back out of the frame, and I'm taking this piece of scrapbook paper from Michael's, and I'm just tracing the back onto that scrapbook paper so I know where to make my cuts, so that way it fits perfectly on the back of that frame. Then I'm just going to be taking a glue stick and just using that to adhere that piece of scrapbook paper to that like cardboard backing of the frame. Very simple, quick, and easy. And then, of course, I'm just going to smooth out all the bumples and the the ripples and the bumps, you guys. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, I'm starting off early, you guys, messing up. Okay, so anyway, I'm taking this vinyl, pre-cut vinyl from Target Dollar Spot, which is really cool for you guys that don't have a Cricut machine. But the only bad thing is that it doesn't come with the transfer tape that you need to be able to transfer it to your project. But I know that Dollar Tree is starting to have more and more of like, you know, the vinyl and the transfer tape and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for that. If not, you can get transfer tape at Michael's and it's, you know, pretty inexpensive as well. So I'm just going through all the steps that I need to be able to transfer these pre-cut vinyl pieces onto my project. So I removed the backing and then I added the transfer tape, scraped it on there, and I did put the frame or the back into the frame because the frame cuts off part of like the backing area, and I didn't want to put the vinyl on and then have like part of it be cut off by the frame. So I put the back in first, and then I just lined each of those pieces up onto the frame and pulled off the transfer tape, and voila, super cute. But I didn't stop there. I wanted it to stand up rather than like be hung on a wall. I really wanted to put this on my sofa table. So I just needed to make something for it to be able to stand up. So I had this picture frame backing left over from just, you know, a previous project. I always save everything, you know, you never know when you're going to need it. And in this case, I needed a frame stand, so I'm glad I had one on hand. And I'm just taking some hot glue and gluing that down into place. And I do want to mention that, like, if you guys don't have, you know, a frame back just laying around anywhere, not everybody does, obviously, but you guys can totally use Jenga blocks, or there's like square cubes from Dollar Tree too. So no need to worry. There's always a solution to the problem. But anyways, guys, here's how it turned out. I think it's so cute. It's absolutely adorable in my opinion. And simplicity is key this year with my decor. I'm trying to keep mine as simple as possible. I just really feel like, you know, the more simpler it is, it almost makes like a more bold statement. You got like just a white background, and then you have like a really bold pop of red like in your face. It's still simple but bold. I don't know how to explain it, but I absolutely love it, and hopefully you guys do too. All right, on to the next project. I'm going to be using this larger canvas, which is from Michael's. Don't quote me on the size. I think it's like 11 by 16, something in that area. I'm so sorry, I don't know the exact measurements. But I'm just going to start by taking a razor blade, and I'm removing the canvas from the frame. I do this all the time. You guys have seen me probably plenty of times do this already. I just love the way that the frame looks on the front, you know, and it's like covered up by the canvas. So I like to turn it around, and I'll either leave it or paint it, or in this case, I'm going to be staining it in a dark walnut color. I just really thought this would just bring the frame to life this time and maybe go for like a more like rustic type of vibe. So after I had the frame all stained, I'm just taking that canvas part again, and I'm going to put the frame back down in place. I personally like the inside of the canvas rather than like the white part, so I did leave the frame like on the inside where it originally was, just flipped around. So then I'm just taking my staple gun and I'm just going around, you know, the entire frame on the back and making sure that canvas is down into place. Once I was done, I just took a razor blade and stripped off all the excess canvas around the frame. Sorry, I lost the film for that. I don't know what happened, but super self-explanatory, really. Anyways, next I'm taking this little reindeer from Dollar Tree, And I'm taking the jute hanger off of there. I don't need it. I'm not going to be hanging it. And then I am taking a flathead screwdriver and prying off the nose. I didn't really care for how the antlers were, like the bottom of the antlers were on the front of the head. So I wanted to flip it over so that way the antlers were on the back of it. And then I took the nose and gave it 2 coats of red paint, just to kind of resemble Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And then I'm taking some hot glue and just gluing that nose back down into place. My next step was to just take the reindeer and I'm going to be placing it into the middle of my frame. And I'm going to do so by just adding a little bit of hot glue and just gluing it down right into the center. Next, I'm just taking this metal sign from Dollar Tree. It says Believe. These come in a pack of 3. I think they say Joy, Peace, and Believe if I'm not mistaken. But I'm just taking some hot glue and gluing that down like in the top antler area. This is just personal preference. Glue yours wherever you see fit. So it was already looking super cute, but I really wanted to spice it up a little bit more. I'm just taking some greenery, some floral pieces and such, just adding things that I, like the look of. Here I'm taking some ribbon from Walmart and I just made a really simple and easy bow to go down in the middle of that greenery that I had made. And then last, I'm just going to be accenting it with like some pine cones and some of this like decorative filler that's from Dollar Tree as well. And that was all there was to this one. Here is how it turned out. I think it's super, super cute next to that, December 25th sign that I just got done making. I think they complement each other really, really well. And, like I said, I was kind of going for like a more rustic vibe on this one since I already have so many like neutral looks in this area. I wanted to make it a little bit bolder with like the darker frame and whatnot. But yeah, I absolutely love it and super simple, quick, and easy to make. But again, bold and makes a statement for sure. Alright, for the third project, I'm going to be using this candy cane wreath form from Dollar General. It is a little bit smaller than the ones that you can find at Dollar Tree, and I thought that was just super, super cute. So I'm going to be using this nautical rope from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start by, making sure it's nice and secure at the bottom, so that way it's easier to wrap all the way up the candy cane. So I added some hot glue on the back and the front of the bottom of the candy cane, and I'm going to start to glue the rope on the back and then wrap it around the front, and it's just going to be one solid strip on the bottom there. Once the glue has had time to adhere to the rope and the metal, I'm just going to start the weaving process, and to do so I'm just going to follow the direction of the rope that it was glued in. You can see, so I wrapped it around the candy cane and I go up through the first column, and now I'm going down through the middle column, and I'm just going to continue to pull that rope all the way through. Makes it much easier when you're trying to do the weaving process in the beginning because the rope kind of gets twisted because it's already like in a kind of a twisted like formation. So then after you go down through the middle column, you're going up through the other column that's left, and you're just going to keep repeating this process all the way up until your candy cane has completely been wrapped. So again, one more time, now that I have one row down, I'm just going to start weaving again. So I'm going up through that first column, I'm going to bring my rope all the way through, and then I'm going to go down through the middle column, and this is like how it gets that braided look. So again, going down through the middle column, I'm going to bring that rope all the way through, and then I'm going to be going up through that last column, and so forth. And then, like I said, it just keeps repeating this process all the way through until your candy cane has been completely woven. So I completed most of the candy cane off camera for you guys, and here it is about 80% done. I'm about to be at the end of my rope, so that's why I turn the camera back on so you can see just kind of how I restart the rope. So you're just finishing it on the back there, gluing it down, kind of hiding it, tuck it in wherever, and then you're just going to glue the new rope right on top of the old rope, but going in the same direction as it would if that like those two pieces were connected to one another. So you're just going to glue each of those pieces down, give it time to adhere to one another so that way it doesn't start to unravel, and then you're just going to keep going on with your weaving process. So now I've made it to the end of my candy cane, and this part is just going to be exactly the same like it was to start the candy cane. I just want one long strip right at the end there. I personally like the look. I just feel like it completes it rather than having like part of that that metal wreath showing. So I like to just glue it onto the back and then wrap it around the front. And then we're just going to let that glue harden. And once it's done, you're just going to snip off the excess rope, and voila, you have a super cute little candy cane. But that's not all. We're just going to, accent it a little bit more. We're going to take some greenery, some floral picks, some berries and such. And of course, I'm going to be using that decorative filler with the pine cones and, all those goodies in there. And then I did decide to add these cute little bells that are from the 99-cent only store. I thought they were just, the perfect thing to bring this candy cane all together and bring it to life. So I'm just gluing it to the bottom of that arrangement thing that I was making, with the greenery and the pine cones and such. And I just thought it was super, super adorable. And here's how it turned out. I love it. I think it's absolutely adorable. I really love the colors and how well just everything comes together. And I did make a couple of candy canes last year using the larger Dollar Tree wreath forms, so I will link that in the cards for you guys in case you're interested in seeing that video as well, just so you can see a couple of different variations of how you could decorate each of these candy canes, because seriously, the possibilities are endless. All right, moving along to the next project. I'm using this Happy Holidays wreath frame from Dollar General. It was only $1, super awesome deal. And then I am taking these ribbons from Michael's, and I'm going to be just cutting some strips off of there. I did kind of like measure it before I cut the strips, I just kind of eyeballed it and placed it around the wreath to see how long I wanted them to be. So once I had a good, idea, like game plan in mind, I went ahead and just cut a bunch of strips. Bunch of strips of each of them. And I did make the burlappy, like the brown ones, longer than the buffalo check ones. This was just personal preference. I kind of wanted to give this wreath like a little bit of dimension. So that's why I had some smaller ribbons and then some larger ribbons as well. So once I had a bunch of the strips cut, it was just time to get this wreath started. And I'm going to start by looping these ribbons around the wreath like so. So I'm going to loop it, and you're going to take the wider end, the loop, and loop it under the wreath, and then take the loose ends and put that through the loop, and then you're just going to pull nice and tight. So again, I'm going to take it and loop it like so. You're taking the loop underneath the wreath, and then you're putting the loose ends through the loop, and then you're just going to pull it. So that way it kind of has like a little, it's going to look like a frilly type of shabby chic wreath. This is just kind of the look that I'm going for, that I had in mind. Switch up your ribbon however you see fit. You can do different colors. You can give it more dimension, have super long pieces of ribbon or shorter ones. Here it is after I've done like the whole bottom, and I'm just doing the same process all along the wreath. I am just alternating the colors of the ribbon, well, each piece of ribbon. So you're doing a buffalo check, and then you're kind of doing that brown like burlappy ribbon, and I'm just going all the way around the wreath until it is completely full. And I did the rest of the process off camera for you guys. So here it is, nice and complete. Well, sort of. So I did leave a little gap at the top right there that you can see. I have some special plans for that area. I thought it would be really cute to add like a wooded bead hanger onto this little wreath. So I'm just going to be using some jute twine and some raw wooden beads. The beads are from Amazon, jute is from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to string those on until I'm kind of happy with the length. I am making a circular hanger rather than it being like across, one side of the wreath to the other, or like straight up and down. I just thought a circular beaded hanger would just be the perfect touch for this wreath. So once I had it to my desired length, I'm just snipping the jute, and then I'm just going to tie it into a couple of knots right at the bottom just to complete that circular shape. I'm leaving some excess jute on the bottom so that way I can easily tie it to the wreath like so. Snip off the excess jute, and then I'm just adding a little bit of hot glue just to make sure that that jute is reinforced and it's not going to come unraveled. After that, I'm just going to start fluffing up the wreath. So I'm just taking, each of the pieces of ribbon. I'm making sure they're extra tight around the wreath. And then I'm just, kind of fluffing them here and there. I'm going to pull them apart or whatever I need to do just to kind of give it more of that dimension and like fluffiness that I was kind of looking for. And here is its final look. As you can see, I did decide to add a little bow to the top. Once I was done with it, I just kind of felt like, it was missing something. So I felt like a bow was like the missing piece of the puzzle, so to speak. And it really just brought it to life. And I absolutely love the way that it turned out. It has like a little rustic but like shabby feel to it. Super, super adorable. So let me know what you guys think of it down below in my comment section, and let's get on to the next craft. For this one, I'm going to be using this round tin tray from Dollar General. And I'm just going to start by taking my drill and drilling a hole in the top area so that way I can add a wood bead hanger. And I'm going to be drilling the hole inside of the rim. This was just personal preference. I thought I would look really, really good here once I was finished. So just taking my drill, drilling that hole, making sure I'm not going to go through my table. We don't want to do anything like that. So once I had made the hole, I'm again taking the raw wooden beads from Amazon and my jute from Dollar Tree, and I'm just making another round beaded hanger to go onto this tin tray. So before I tie it off, I am looping, well, not looping, but I'm putting the jute through the hole on the tin, and then I'm just going to tie a couple of knots on the bottom there, and then I'm just going to snip off the excess string and add some hot glue so that way it keeps the hanger, nice and in place. So once I was done with the hanger, it was just time to, jazz it up a little bit, give it some spice, make it look super, super cute. So I'm taking this green bow from the 99-cent only store, and then I'm using this really pretty traditional themed ribbon from Sam's Club. I just really loved the color combos of these two ribbons together. I thought they would pair perfectly. So really fast, I just made a quick and easy bow, and then I'm just going to be gluing these down into place. So I glued the green one down first, and then I glued the traditional looking one right on top of the green one. I just love the more like three-dimensional look to it. Thought it was super, super adorable. So then I'm just trimming off the legs of the ribbon just to shorten them up so that way you can see the wording on the tin. And then, of course, I'm just going to accent it like I have been doing before throughout this whole video. Some greenery, pine cones and such, decorative filler, and voila. Here is how it turned out, you guys. Look how beautiful this one is. I absolutely cannot get enough of this one. I think this is probably one of my favorites throughout this whole video, and one of my favorite projects that I've actually, created this whole season. So I cannot wait to hear all about how you guys feel about this one. Let me know all about it down below in my comment section. And just like that, we are on to the last craft for this video. I am using these treat sacks from Dollar Tree, and then a couple of these cute little stockings that are from the Target dollar spot. And I'm just going to start by removing that green string off of the Christmas tree treat sacks, because I just don't really care for how neon and bright colored it is. It really kind of throws off the whole vibe that I'm kind of going for. So I'm just going to untie the knots and then remove the strings out of each of those green treat sacks. Well, once I had those strings removed, I'm just taking some of this craft paper from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start ripping off some strips. It doesn't really matter. There's no rhyme or reason. It doesn't have to be super pretty either, because I am just going to be crinkling and crunching these up and stuffing them in each of the treat sacks and into the little stockings. And I just filled each of those up until they were pretty full. The stockings are more full than the little treat sacks. I wanted to leave some room on the treat sacks, like at the top, so that way I could tie off the red strings. And then for the green treat sacks, I'm just cutting some pieces of jute twine, and then I'm just going to tie a cute little bow on the front of those green treat sacks, like so. I just thought this was really, really cute, because obviously I took off their original strings, so I needed to add a new string on there. So once I was done, filling those and tying off all the strings, I'm just kind of playing around with the placement, lining them up just to see how I want them to go and be strung on their little garland strand. And before I started stringing those on, I did add some glue to the inside of the stocking, and then I just looped that little hanger piece into itself to shorten it up a little bit, just because I didn't want the stockings to hang super low compared to the treat sacks. So once I was done with that, it was just time to take my jute twine and start tying these on the strand like so. So for these, the bad part is that like these have to be tied on. They aren't looped through. The only ones that are looped through are the stockings, so they will move on the strand, but the little treat sacks will not. And honestly, that doesn't bother me that much. I think it still ends up super cute. So I'm just tying the treat sacks on, and then I'm going to put that jute twine through the stocking hole, and then I'm just going to continue on tying the treat sacks and then loop the other stocking on. And that was it for this cute little garland. Look how cute it turned out, and look how well it goes with the other crafts that I made in this video. I really love how just everything is kind of just like nice and cohesive together, and they all just really accent one another really well. Again, love this little garland. Super simple, quick, and easy to make, and I mean, it's totally cute. So that is all I have for you guys for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed each of the crafts in this video, and if so, I would love it if you guys gave it a thumbs up. Leave me some comments down below. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you have not already done so. I would love for you to join the Dying to DIY fam. I appreciate you guys all so much, and thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all next time.